The Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Noordin Haji, was a junior officer in the National Intelligence Service before he was appointed as DPP. Had Noordin Haji done his job, we would not be where we are today. He has no capacity. He is not just take responsibility, but resign from that office and allow the president to pick a competent director general. I want to request President William Ruto to consider as a matter of urgency.
Yes, that is the deputy president speaking about the matters of national security. Welcome back again to my YouTube channel, and if you've not subscribed, liked and commented, please leave your comment so that I might know, or I might feel your view about this video that I'm going to make today. So you can see the deputy president is really complaining about this N.I.S, National Intelligence Service boss. So the reason why he's complaining was because of the demos that were demonstrated by the Gen Zs. And who is this boss? This boss is Noordin Haji. He was the one of the advocates in the high courts in Kenya before 2010, and in 2010 he was chosen to be one of the second DPP. What do I mean by saying DPP? DPP simply means Directorate of Public Prosecution. He was given that role by our former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, where he portrayed very good manners, very good honesty during that time. He was a very good guy by that time during the Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, until he was even awarded to be one of the most honest and transparent guy during that Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure. But let us look where the rain started beating this man. This man, Noordin Haji, when now the rise of William Samoei Ruto in 2023, when he started withdrawing big cases, very big cases of corruption. As you can see, if you remember very well, during the Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, there was so much money embezzled. There was a lot of corruption because so many money. So that man has borrowed a lot of money into our country. So people were living on a debt. And so there was a lot of money in the circulation. If you remember, our Kenyan shilling against the dollar really declined. And most of the Kenyans were really feeling it when we started the 2023. Because it was money changing scandal. People were stealing a lot of money. People were running away, bags full of money. So during that time, Haji decided to, withdraw so many cases containing, big politicians, many corruption. And most of those politicians were aligned with this man, our president, who is our president now, this man, William Ruto. So it was clearly that this man has really, from that, he was believed and by Kenyans, also by the government, until he was given the gift of being one of the most honest guy in the government. But you see, when now he started these things of politics, the rise of William Samoei Ruto, who is wanamuitanga daktari wa siasa. When daktari wa siasa now was, coming up very fast. So this man was withdrawing so many big cases. And because of that, I guess so many Kenyans I really love facts. And that's why I usually tell guys that with me, I usually do things according to the facts. I'm a truthful guy, and I usually take things the way they are. You see, if This man started withdrawing cases during that time. And it did not take him a lot of time. He was nominated, he was chosen and taken to parliament, where he was now appointed to be the N.I.S boss. When I say N.I.S, I mean National Intelligence Service. So that is when now this man started hitting the headlines. And you can see the deputy president complaining, like,
that is where the problem is.
how did
We have a dysfunctional
a mere
national intelligence
demonstration,
service that has exposed the president,
how
the
did people
government, and the
manage
people of
to
Kenya.
enter inside our parliament? You know, that thing has really, that day I was really shocked. How did people manage to enter parliament? I want you to leave your comment down below and tell me. There have been demonstrations all over the world since 2007, where there was a very violent demonstration where people were killing one another. Look at when our president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, took office in after the election 2023, at the beginning of the year. You see people demonstrating, but people never managed to break into the parliament. So that thing really exposed our president. And for some cases, I might agree with the deputy president that how did the National Intelligence Service of Kenya failed? And when I say failed, I mean it from my heart. How did they fail to understand the strength and the magnitude of these people who are going to demonstration? Until when now they realize, oh, this thing is serious. When people have already entered to the parliament, destroyed a lot of properties, which now are costing Kenyans almost 150 million. I think it's million, 150 million. So for me, I concur with the deputy president, because how will you are the head of National Intelligence Service, you're supposed to collect data, because that was something which was being planned publicly. You could go to Twitter with X and see people are practicing, people are making it. We are going, the Gen Z was speaking, we must go and we must communicate. We must let the government know that we are the Gen Z and we need accountability of the public resources. So my guys, let me take some water. So as a Gen Z, I will concur with the deputy president. Where was the N.I.S officer? Where was the boss? Where was his voice? Yeah? He has a lot of men in command. Where was the data? Where was the DCI? Yeah? Where was the National Intelligence Service? They were supposed to be within the group, the collecting data. If you see that thing, it was well planned, because the AP police and the GSU are fighting the guys in the front, while the others have already sneaked inside the state house. And they had a common goal that we are going for the specific things. So it is something which was planned. And that's why with me, I concur with the deputy president, because the deputy president really spoke very well, that this guy really failed the country. And it is clearly from the view that the N.I.S boss that day failed the government. No matter how many abductions he's trying to do, he failed the government on that day. Yes. So there was so many claims, talking about Noordin Haji must go home. But you can see our brothers from the north are very, very sensitive. Let me tell you something. Somalis, it is a minority group, just like other minority groups in Kenya. So, language groups, I mean. So when you touch one of their own, they are very bitter. And I can tell you, I've been to the north. I've stayed in Dadaab. I've stayed in Garissa. I've stayed in Wajir. So I've been to the north, and I know how they really protect their own. So it was not something that was something new to me, because I believed and I knew they must protect their own. Look at Dendwale. Look at this man. This man, Maalim Fall. There's this man known as Farah Malims. Farah Malim. This MP of Dadaab, is a lawmaker in Kenyan government. MP Farah. Look at that man. So what I would like to say is the government is really, we need accountability of our public resources, and we also need to comment to the politician, their way of spending, their lavish, lifestyle. If you remember very well, in 2023, 13th July, I made a comment whereby I really told people the fact that these guys are just there to play us. They are just there to play us. And most of my friends came onto my DM and say, a lot of things. Raila Odinga, Baba, a lot of things, which I did not agree. I told them, if you are still believing that Raila Amolo Odinga is fighting for the rights of Kenyans, then you must be a very, very irritated Kenyan. You must be a very, very irritated Kenyan. That man has been lying to millennials for over, I can even count now. That man has been in the government, because he has two rules. If I'm not in the government, I will fight my way inside the government. Look at Moi. That man really alisumbua Moi. And finally, what happened? He was inside Moi's government. Akarudi, akaingia kwa Kibaki. He was very stubborn, akapewa prime minister. Akasumbua hata kina William Ruto. I think that William Ruto by that time he was Minister of Agriculture. Akamwandikia hata notice to resign him. Look at Kenyatta's government, Uhuru Kenyatta's government. That man has been there until he was given a handshake, and he was given, now come to the government and let us make something. Look at another thing. Look at this. For the second term, he was there. So I'm not even what can I say? I'm not shocked when I hear people calling him conman. He has been conning Kenyans since since 2007. He has been lying to millennials. He has been lying to millennials over 40 good years, telling them that he is fighting for the rights of Kenyans. And that's why I usually want to tell my viewers today, this content I'm really making it for you, my viewers. You are the one who really makes me do this, and I appreciate you so much for being there and watching this content coming too. That man has been a very big lie, and he knows the weakness of so many Kenyans. So many Kenyans are living at the verge of collapsing. Now when they come with false hopes, we will give you 6,000, we will give you, where will the government remove Kenyans? You must be crazy people. Where will the government remove 6,000 to give every family, while we ourselves, we are borrowing other people, other country, so that we might at least be able to pay our employers? Why can't you reason that way? So, with me, I would like to tell you that most of these things that you hear from politicians, especially Raila Omoro Odinga, that man is a very big liar. Look at every government. Handshake, he is in the government, he is getting paid. What about the Kenyans who has been crying? And that one reminds me of Bobby Wine in Uganda. Bobby Wine in Uganda, he's been fighting and fighting, but look at him. He has a good office and he's living good. And one thing I like with this man of Uganda, he's very strict and he knows what is good for Ugandans. It's better to be ruled by a tyrant, or they call him a dictator, than this kind of government that we have in Kenya. Now, Raila Omoro Odinga, look at now. He's now trying to be in UDA. Look at him. During the launch of IEBC, the signing of IEBC, he was there. And he was the one speaking. And I want you to be there that if he runs for president in the 2027, the same guy will start saying, these people went and stole my vote. And he is the same guy who is right now sitting with the president, dining on the same table and saying, now this is commissioners we've appointed today, now let them take off. And he will be the same person will be complaining about they have stolen my vote. So there is a controversy. There is a controversy in those offices. And you need to know that. And as a good Kenyan, you need to know that there is a very, very, very big controversy. Yes. So it is clear that we are being played, and the players are very, 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 very clever. The reason why most of my friends were asking me, what, Samuel, how did this man, turn from considering kikuyus? We are not talking about tribes right now. When William Ruto was entering the government, it was clear, very clear, that he needed a new team. He needed new team to play. And the only team players he could get was the Somalis. Now look at now, the Somalis are controlling the business, and also they are in the government. Aden Duale is the head of, KDF. Haji, National Intelligence Service. They have the security sector. So that's why you say most of the previous bosses are not happy about that move Ruto made. Because Ruto knew you cannot have traitors and dine with them on the same table. By now, they would have been really struggling with these officers. He knew that, and that's why he decided, now, because I'm taking power, I will choose different key players. And that motion that was made by this man known as our deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, really expressed how he was feeling. Because, he was really, yes, our N.I.S officer, Haji, failed us because he could know the pressure which the government was going to feel on that day of Mandaman, Tuesday. So, it is clear that we as the people, we need to find a way of living and find a way of solving these things, and these politicians are not on our side. Now let us look at another clip which was trending. Another clip was trending today of Farah maalim, and people are calling him Farah. That man was saying that if he was not a Kenyan, he could have vied for presidency in Somalia. So that man, if he loves Somalia so much, why can't we deport him to Somalia? Yeah? So there's a very trending and a very sensitive clip I'm going to show you, though it must be not be very clear, but I believe you can read through the captions. That man was telling that was saying that if I was the president, I could have murdered more than 5,000 Kenyans, because he believed that those boys who were demonstrating, or those gentlemen who were demonstrating on the street, there were most of them were the children of the rich. And he said clearly that most of those guys were, if you remember very well my comment, I posted up on my Facebook page. I had posted a comment saying that most of these guys who are on the street demonstrating, they are the children who have been raised by the so-called corruption. They are the beneficiary. In fact, I was so amused by Mike Sonko is coming publicly to the public and telling them, hey, my son is going to participate in the demonstrations. I was like, nigga, what are you telling the public? That man rooted public funds in Nairobi. Pesa mingi sana. Now the son, what is the son demonstrating? I want to ask you, I want you to write comments. Give me your comments on the, give me your thoughts on the comments below. What is the son demonstrating for? The father has been looting our public funds for over 10 years. So I was really, Mike Sonko is talking shit, man. How can you tell us that your son is going to, to participate in Gen Z's revolution? Your own son he's a beneficiary of your public fund you've been looting from the government. So it's an iron. So those kind of people, they are the one who triggered Farah maalim to say that, if I was the president, I could have slaughtered 500 of them. And now, the controversy is now following Falimali, and he had to apologize to the public. But the public has already gotten the first statement that he's going, if he was the president, he could have slaughtered 500 demonstrators on that day. So it is very difficult. Our country is heading in a very funny way. But one thing I believe is the government of William Samuel Ruto is failing, because the failing of finance bill is the failing of the government. That's the question I'm leaving you, my people, with. The failing of the government, the failing of the finance bill is the failing of the government. If the finance bill, it has failed, now what will the government do? Because the finance bill is what determines what that government is going to handle for a particular moment. Last time I showed you a clip of a UK Prime Minister resigning because he failed. And he failed, I don't have anything that I can do for my people because I have failed. And he went online and talked to his guys. He said, yeah, you had so much effort and you had so much trust in me, but because of the resources I have and the things that I have promised you, I can't do them. He had to offer the resignation letter, and he was told, go home. So with my point of view, the government of William Samuel Ruto is really failing, because the failing of finance bill is the failing of the government. So I believe so much that, thank you for listening to me. Thank you, guys, and I am really humbly requesting you, please like my channel, follow my YouTube, so that we, all of us, we can eat that cake. And I believe that through your power, we gonna reach our goals. So I greet you all, people. Please catch me on my next episode. It will be solid. Things will be now flowing. All together. Now we will be talking about the conman himself. The conman, and I will be telling you the reason why we call him the conman. And I will also, and I'll be on weekends, I'll be having a guest. His name is Muhammad. He's from Wajir, a very good friend of mine, a very politician. He really a politics analyst. I'll be handling him. So at that time, I believe we will be pushing a very good content, and I believe he's a very good man with a lot of knowledge in government, and I will be asking him a lot of questions. So kindly, if you haven't followed me, subscribe, like, comment, and share. God bless you guys.